Have you ever had a piece of ephemera that you've wanted to use in your journal, but perhaps it's on delicate paper or old paper that's a little bit fragile, and there's something on each side of it that you want to use, and you're a little reluctant to just give up one of the sides, but the paper is thin, so you don't know how to preserve it. Or maybe you have a newspaper clipping that you'd like to preserve both sides of it just because you like what's on the back too. It's kind of a reminder of the time of when it was, this was my mother's wedding announcement in the paper. So I thought I would show you today what I've done in the past, something that's worked for me to preserve both sides of the page and be able to use it in your journal. Hi, it's Linda. Today we're going to work on this. What I want to do is save this little poem, this 2-line poem, and also the Spring Day one that's on the back of it. So what I'm going to do is just tear out around it carefully, so I have both of them on there. I think I need to tear from this side down to about right there. We'll just get started. I did this process because I wanted to use another poem from this little book. It's quite delicate. It's about butterflies, and I mentioned it the other day when I was doing the little folder item that I did. The one that folds out, like this one that folds out. And I had a poem about the one I was using about butterflies, and it had a poem on each side of it that I liked. I liked both of them. I wanted to keep them. And I had it in another journal, so I just wrote it on my piece the other day. But I preserved the original by doing what I'm about to do to this one. And that is, I'm going to use, this time, I used Mod Podge before. You can use that, or you can use matte medium, or you can thin down, like Elmer's glue, white glue, whatever, with water until it's kind of runny. And I'm going to put a napkin, the white side of a napkin, on both sides of this. Here's my napkin. So what you do, what I did, is I'm going to put glue on this side of this, or either side of it. There's some matte medium out here. I haven't tried this with matte medium, so I'm hoping it will work well and not be too shiny. Put that over there. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush and just start brushing it on here. You don't need it real thick. Right now you just want to stick it down to your napkin. So I'm going to put it on this side, and then I'm going to turn it over and put it face down on the napkin. That's one layer of napkin, and what you do is you just find the corner of it and separate a little bit, and then it'll just peel apart. I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to stay out of that. I think it will leave a little bit of that impression on there, and I don't particularly want it on this to be that way, so I'll just put this down here like that. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to get a piece of, this is freezer paper. It has like a plastic kind of side to it. I'm going to use that to keep from getting glue everywhere. And then on this side, you just start from the middle and brush out the matte medium to the edge. And you're going to want it to be sealed at the edge because you're going to put the napkin on both sides. And when it dries, it's fairly transparent. It may have a little bit of a white look to it, but mostly you can certainly see what's there. I have an example I'll show you in just a second when I get this going here. You just want it to be kind of smooth. I'm going to put a little bit of water on that. To keep it smooth and keep it from getting that dry look that it was getting there. Now, if you like the texture, that's fine too. Just do it like that. Okay, so that is that side. And I'm going to let that dry for just a minute before I turn it over and do the other side. And this is the piece I was talking about. And see how I left the edge around it the napkin sticking out just beyond the edge. It's actually encased in this, like if it were laminated, only it's glue and it's napkin. You could use tea bags or tissue paper, perhaps would work. And I'm not sure if it's as strong as a napkin would be, but it might work too. But anyway, that's what we're doing. This is the one, this one. And on this one, I thought I would use this napkin that has flowers on it. I'm gonna use the middle white part right there for the front mostly, but I'm gonna use part of these flowers on the back just because I think they're pretty. And you'll still be able to see the image through there. So I'm gonna start on this side on this one. Thinning this just a little bit. Just want it to be able to stick the napkin down. I think everybody's out and about today. Your car's going by. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I want to put put it up. Got wrinkles. Didn't want wrinkles. The napkin starts to get a little bit stretched out when it gets wet, so you kind of have to be careful with doing it, pressing it down so that it doesn't wrinkle up on you. But you might like wrinkles, I don't know. Give it a little texture. I love that texture. But right now, I'd rather not have texture on this, I think. Okay, I think I've got it covered now. I'm going to use my card and just press it gently here. These napkins are kind of thin too, so you want to, be careful while you're working with it so that you don't tear it. But you can just, glue it back together and it will still be fine. Okay. The edge a little better there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And I hope I saved enough to put on the other side. If I didn't, I will use some of the other white on that. And I need to just set this aside for a minute while it's still a little bit wet. There. Okay. Another thing I was going to do, or show you what I was going to do. This is a picture of my grandfather. And I don't really want to use the actual picture in my journal. I'd rather keep it with the other family pictures. So I made a Xerox copy of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it. I'm going to glue it down to a card so that it's stiff, more like a cabinet card. Then I'm going to glue a piece of tea bag over the picture. And hopefully it will be the effect of making it look old. This is kind of a brown tone picture. And the Xerox, of course, is just more of a black and white. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim off the edge of this. And I'm just going to use my scissors and hope for the best. Go slow. And go right out there to the edge. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm not real good at this, but anyway, we're going to do it. And I guess it doesn't matter that much. You could always say, oh, well, it's just aged and it's a little wobbly on the side, which might be true. Okay. Just over there. And what I should have done, I guess, was glue it to my card first because I'm going to have to cut it out again. But anyway, it won't matter in the long run. It will just be a matter of cutting it twice. I'm going to use one of these heavyweight blank index cards for the back to stiffen it up. And it's not going to be as thick as this is, but it's thick enough that it'll be a little bit sturdy, especially once I glue that on. So I'll just do that. I need some more medium out here. I got this at Walmart, and it was $4 and something, I think. I think Chantel from the Purring Cat Studio recommended this brand, that she liked it, so I decided to try it. And it does go on nice and smoothly. Okay. I'm going to pull out a piece of paper to glue this on. I use ads that come in the mail to glue on. Things that would go in recycling anyway. I just give them an extra life for a little while. Okay. Stick this on here. And since I'm going to cut it even with the edge, it doesn't really matter. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could just, I could leave an edge around it and just make that part of the design, if you want to say that it had a border around it, which a lot of those old pictures had more than one border on them. Let's see if I can get the glue off of here. Smooth it down. Whoops, get back here. Grandpa. My grandpa played the fiddle, and I think this is kind of a sad story. His son was joined the Navy when he was about in his 30s. He had a wife and 2 children, but he felt that he needed to be patriotic and go to war. And my grandpa put his fiddle away in the dresser drawer, and he said he wouldn't play it again until his son came home. And gratefully and thankfully, his son did come home, but Grandpa never played the fiddle again. It was a hard time for them. I can use this one. It has some tea stains on it, which will make it look older, or I could use a lighter colored one for a different effect. But I think on this one, I can always make new Xerox copies, and I can just keep preserving Grandpa over and over again. I think I'm going to use this one on here just because it'll make the picture look old, and I just want to see how it looks. So I'll put this on. And then I'm just going to place this over the top. Sometimes there's holes in it, like there's a hole right there. I'm going to try to avoid those on the picture itself so that it's not damaged. The tea bag isn't damaged. And same thing, you can just press it out to the edges. And right now that looks like, oh, that's not very successful. Doesn't it? I mean, it looks like, not going to be able to see him. But we're going to add another layer. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now, just on top of this. And it does dry clear, so it will be fine. Try to keep it smooth. Not have too much on there. Now, it's probably not going to look like this picture that much because obviously this is brown and, or I guess that's brown, sepia colored or something, I don't know. And this is going to be more of a black and white effect, but it will have the stains from the tea bag on it. So, let's try to smooth this out just a little bit more here. Get the brush strokes out. Just a little bit of water helps with that. Of course, it also makes it take longer to dry. Okay. All right, we got grandpa glue. See how we're doing over here with these. Put him up here. Okay, that is getting dry. It's not completely dry yet, but it's getting there. I will glue another piece over the top of this. Is what I'm going to do on the back to preserve it. So it's going to have to go this way and leave enough room over it that I can tear it out. Okay. Seems like I'm having better luck when I put a little bit more on to begin with and then spread it out. And hopefully it'll be, that looks pretty good. I want to have plenty around the edge there where that napkin needs to press together. And let's see if I can get this smoothed down. Whoops, little wrinkle there. Oh, that's over the words too. Let's see if I can press that down. And it's not critical that it doesn't have any wrinkles on it, but it just depends on if you like that way it looks or not. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. That's pretty good. One little wrinkle there, but that's okay. Give it a little character. It is a little character. And then I'm going to put more on top. So just basically what it does is it seals it inside the glue. And I don't know, this one I did this several years ago. And I don't know that the color has changed. I mean, that looks pretty much the same to me. There's a little bit, I think I had some pink on the napkin when I did that one, but it's very similar to the color it was. So I think it does a pretty good job of protecting it. Maybe not like archival quality, but good enough for junk journals for the foreseeable future. Okay. A little tricky to get all the lines out of it, but maybe that will work right there. Okay. And that side is still a little bit... Now I need a clothesline to hang it on so I can dry from both sides. Maybe I can do that if I have a... Here's a clip. Clip it to my tripod and wipe up my mess right here. I think I need a baby wipe. I'm just going to clean this up because I don't want the next thing I work on to stick to the plastic. And this is one of those, it's one of those mats I got at Dollar Tree. And the last 2 times I've looked for them, they haven't had them. And I'm kind of sad about that. They come to a package, and I bought a package. And I thought, well, I won't buy another one right now. I have 2, and I don't really need it right now. But I really wish I had, because now I'm not being able to find them. I'm hoping that maybe, like, sometimes they get things in again that they've had before and just discontinued for a little while, and then it came back. I don't know. But anyway, this is my mother's wedding announcement. I guess my mother and daddy's wedding announcement. Okay. So I'm on this one, I think I'm going to cut out just a little pass there, or maybe tear it. It's fairly dry. I think I'll tear it just because I like the ragged look a little better than the straight edge. So get up here where you can see me. See me tear. It's so exciting. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but paper, just like fabric, has a grain to it. And when you tear in one direction, it can be easier to tear than in the other direction. Just a bit of trivia there, I guess. But sometimes it does matter. Now, see that? I'm going to have to glue that back down there because I want a little bit of that there, but it'll be fine. It's a little harder to tear because it has the glue on it. So, I may end up cutting the other side. When both sides are glued, it may be a little more difficult to tear it. And it's kind of ragged right now. See how much easier it tears in this direction? I think that must be the grain. I hope I haven't messed up and don't have enough of this white left, which I may not. Let's see here. I didn't want the flowers over the whole thing because I don't think you can read it completely through there. So yes, I did. I messed up. And I don't think I have another one of these napkins in here. I think I will turn the camera off and see if I can find a napkin. Okay, I'm back. I had to go and pull this package of napkins out of the box in there. I need better storage, but we won't go into that. This package of napkins I bought at the Dollar Tree. So when I got it, it was $1 for 16 napkins, which is kind of almost a lifetime supply on that. And I was going to show you these napkins. You may know this, but for anybody that doesn't know, I'll tell you this. They are 1 or 2 layers. I'm sorry, there are 2 or 3 layers. And you kind of have to get in there. Right now I'm having trouble just even separating the top from the other side, make it out flat. I thought these were pretty colors on there. But anyway, getting sidetracked. What I do is, there are a number of ways to do this. You can put a piece of Scotch tape or cellophane tape, whatever, just on here and pull it up and rip it. Rip the backing. It doesn't stick to the front, so you can just pull it off if you just want to use the front. But since we're using this back part too, and I like to be frugal and use things up, I just kind of do this with my thumb on the edge until it separates. See, it's separated right there. There's two edges there. And then you can just grab the one. I think this one is 2-ply. If it says on here. It doesn't say. Some of them, the nicer napkins, have 3-plies. And so you'll have 2 layers of this backing on there. But I'm just going to pull this off real quick without tearing anything. And what I want to do is mainly use the center part over the announcement because I want I want it to show. And I haven't put the glue on this side yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do this so we can see what it looks like. I don't mind a little bit of I don't mind the flowers, maybe over the headline because that's bolder and you can see more of it. And like that maybe. And I need to put the glue on there first. Forgot what I was doing. I'm gonna add a little water to that because it's been sitting here a little bit. And just cover my mama up. Okay, oops. It's trying to curl up on me here. Now, I said I was going to put the flower kind of over their names up there in the headline. That. And straighten down here. Where's my card? You know, I can start out organized, haha, and then I end up in a mess. I'm not a very organized person, I have to say. I wish I were, but I'm not. Okay. Smooth down for me, please. It seems to help get it smoothed down to have that flat surface coming across there. It's a little easier when you don't have that edging still damp because it's sticking to that. It's part of the problem there. But I think that's going to be okay, like that. And then down here, a little bit over that. So it's a little bit over the edge of the clipping, but I have a number of these clippings, so it's not like I'm running the only one I have. Okay. Straighten things back around here, and I'm going to put another coat on top of this. And you can add more than one coat on top if you feel like it needs it. Until you get it to a thickness or durability, I guess is what I might say, of how you want it to be. A little wrinkle there I don't particularly like, but it may just have to be that way. Well, I think I need a little water on this. Kind of making it thick, and it may take it longer to dry because of that. Now I want that to be stuck down around it so that it's sealed around the clipping. Okay. All right, let's set that aside and let it dry. Here's Henry again. And it's drying, but it's still a little bit damp too. And it's curling up because this side is wet and the other side is dry. So it makes it do that. But I think you can see it looks like it's aged a little bit. I'll show you some others that I've done. I showed you this one already. It's the butterflies on both sides, the barley field. It says, up the barley rows, stitching them together, a butterfly goes. I love these poems that are so evocative of and giving you a mental picture of what's happening there. This was one I did with this same napkin. It was a clipping out of the Dallas Morning News. My friend and I had gone to a tea room and had tea at, let's see, where is it? The English tea room. That's the one we went to. No, it's not. It's not the one we went to. Lady Primrose's. We went to an afternoon tea at Lady Primrose's, and it was at the Hotel Crescent Court in Dallas, and it was a lot of fun. But I saved the clipping, and I made a page in my journal. I think I've shown it to you before. And I wanted to put this in there, and I knew that this clipping would probably end up being that color. And so I decided, this was one of the first things I did with this, and I decided to put the napkin on both sides of it, and I put more flowers on this side. And it's just other restaurants, and it was in the food section. It was other restaurants and things, and you can read just a little bit of $8.95 for a lunch and $10.95 for dinner. Bargain. Anyway, it's all sealed up in there, and it's like it's laminated, I guess. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think after it dries really well, I took a piece of wax paper and just rubbed over this surface because it was a little bit sticky from the glue. I used Mod Podge on this. And I just rubbed it and let it sit, and then did it again several times. And now it's not sticky or anything. It's just like it's plasticky. So that was another one I did. And then this picture, I think I've shown this one before too. This is Asa Friend. He was my great-grandmother's old boyfriend and ex-fiance when she met her future husband, who was I guess he was a romantic cattle driver. He went on a 3-year cattle drive up to Kansas City, I think it was. And she waited for him, and they got married when he came back. But Asa Friend was out of the picture. But they kept his picture all these years. I don't know why. I think it's funny. And they spelled it Acy there, A-C-Y. I'm sure it was Asa. And that just was something people did. They called it Asa and Marthy and things like that. Just talked like that. But this one, I put a tea bag over it, and you can see I hope you can see there is stains on the tea bag, so it looks really aged. And it's not exactly the same as this. It's a little less clear than this picture is, but it's certainly an acceptable replica of kind of a cabinet card. I just put some of this scrapbooking paper on the back, and I didn't even seal it. I just left it like that. And it's glued. I think I just glued it to that paper and then put the tea bag over it. And then here's one more. I didn't put any kind of covering on this one. I just glued them down to a piece of cardstock with some coffee dyed paper on the back, and stamped this swirl flourish on there. And I think it turned out nice. It looks, you know, not exactly like the original did. I think it was more of a brown tone picture too. But I have it in one of my journals, and I think it looks good. So anyway, that's some other examples of this. I think what I'll do is let everything get dry, and then I'll come back and finish up the video. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the results of my experiments, and I don't know. I'm not too happy with some of them. This is what I did yesterday. This is my grandpa's picture, and as you can probably see, I hope you can see that, it's got a lot of shine on there. And this was matte medium, and I think I put 3 or 4 coats on this, and it's too much. And you can see the brush strokes in it, so I was not pleased with that. I went ahead and put a backing on it with just some lightweight scrapbooking paper. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to tell you what I did today, because I wasn't pleased with this. And I had a picture of my other grandfather. This is my daddy's daddy, and he was about, I don't know, 17 years old in this picture. And the only interesting thing I know about it is that his comment about it was that this collar was so tall, he had to get up on a stump to spit. I thought that was funny. A little crude, but funny. Anyway, I used Mod Podge on this one, this matte finish Mod Podge. And I glued it to a heavyweight index card like I did with the others. I put a tea bag on top of this. I put the Mod Podge on his picture, on the Xerox copy of his picture. Then I put the tea bag on and put a coat on top of that. I think that's all I did. I might have put 2 coats on there, but I'm not sure I did. And it's pretty matte finish. It's got a little bit right there that looks a little shiny, but it's not anywhere near like this. And I was better pleased with that. This one, I went back. I wanted to bring over their picture, the original picture, to compare this. And then this one is, everybody called him Pappy. So this was Pappy's picture. A little shine on that. I hope that's not showing up. These all have this brown tone, and I can't really get that with a Xerox. The tea bag is a used tea bag, so it adds a little bit of that brown tone to it. And I suppose I could go over it with a little bit of vintage photo or something to kind of give it a little more brown. I did ink the edges of that. So that is that one. And then after I did this picture, I decided to try this picture again to compare with this. And I went back to using matte medium. And what I did on this one is I glued his picture to the cards, to the index card with my glue stick, Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength glue stick. And then I put a coat of matte medium on it, put the tea bag down on it, and I was getting a whole lot of this white looking shadow stuff. I don't know what to call that. It looked white there. So I pulled it off and I put matte medium on the back of the tea bag and put it back on and pressed it down with the card. Smoothed it down real good like that. And then I put one coat over the top. And that's where it is right now, is one coat over the top. And I'm seeing this white again on that I don't really like. And I'm not sure what is causing that. I watered the matte medium down a little bit with water. I dipped my brush in the water and then just mixed it with the matte medium, a daub like I had yesterday, and spread it on there. So I'm not terribly thrilled with this one either. I think that I like, for photographs, I like the way I dropped things in the floor. I like the way I did this one. This was a Xerox copy of this, and I used some vintage photo just to ink it up a little bit and tone it down, and glued it to this piece of cardstock and put paper on the back. And I think really it's a clearer picture that way, and I think that is my preference on the photographs. Okay, let's put these aside, and we'll talk about my mother's picture here, wedding picture. This was yesterday, and it's got a whole lot of that white. I mean, it really, you can't even see her picture, and I found my other copies of this, so I can, this is the original, and you can tell that the picture was a lot clearer than it was after I put the napkin over it. So, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's air trapped under the matte medium and the napkin that causes that, or what it is. But it's not suitable, I don't think. Now, on the back, I'm okay with that. There's a little bit of that there. But this looks better to me than the other side does. Then today I decided I would redo this, and I used Mod Podge on it. And I was smoothing it down, and the napkin was getting wet, and it kind of clumped up in a few places here and there and over her eye. So her eye is really black looking, and the rest of this has that same white look. I don't know. I don't like that. This is not what I would do if I only had one copy of something and I was going to do this. If I didn't care about it too much, I'd do it. If I did care about it and it had a photograph in it, I think it's okay on this. Like the one I did with the poems, they all seem to be, that has a little bit of that white on it, but it doesn't matter so much on those. But when you have a photograph on it, I think it's a problem. And then on the back of this one, what I did is I put the matte medium on there and put the napkin over it, and then put a coat on there. And then I used just a plain white piece, and then I used pieces to put the flowers on the sides. And I like this okay, but I'm really not happy with the other side of it. So, in fact, I kind of like this one better than this one because this one looks so splotchy. So, anyway, I call that one not so much a success. Maybe a failure. I'm not sure. Success maybe on that side, not on this side. So, that is that. And, oh, I was going to show you the original picture of Mother. So, even the picture from the newspaper it's already compromised from the original. But I swear that didn't look like the same picture. I think she's wearing glasses in that one, and she definitely does not have glasses on in that one. So, I don't know. Anyway, Same dress, though. She may have taken her glasses off for one view or something. On these, I put 2 coats on either side, I believe is what I did with this. It's not as sturdy feeling as that one is. This is a little less, not as thick feeling. I think I put more Mod Podge on this than I did on this one. Then I decided to try a little Mod Podge on this and see how it compared. It's about the same, I think. I put maybe 2 coats on this. And I must have put at least 3 on this one. And I also went over, I took a piece of wax paper and just went over it like this, pressing pretty hard and rubbed it a little bit to put some wax on the, over the top. Here's one more. This one, I didn't put any napkin or any tea bag or anything over it. I just used matte medium to go over it. And I think it probably will protect it somewhat. I don't know if it's as good as this would be. But anyway, that is my experiment in all of these faux photographs or Xerox copies of photographs. And on this one, I'm probably going to go ahead and finish the back like I did on these. I just wanted you to see how it looked when it was down here. This line right here is the Xerox copy. And then that's the edge of the 3x5 heavyweight index card. And I just put the tea bag over the top. And that's about, I rinsed out the tea bag because it had these big stains on it. I let it dry with the tea leaves in it. And I rinsed it out. And that's the stain, the amount of stain that was left. So there's a little bit of that on his picture. Just looking at these when there's not the glare from the light on it. This one, I think, looks a little better than this one does because of that white that I'm seeing there. And I really don't know. Maybe I need to do some more experimenting to see what to do about that. But anyway, that's my my results on that. And I agree, again, I say, if you're doing photograph, maybe just consider using the Xerox without anything over it. Although Mr. Ace, a friend, turned out pretty well with tea bag on him, and I'm sure it was this Mod Podge that I used. Maybe 1 or 2 coats, not a whole lot. So I hope you found that interesting or helpful in some way. And I like to do these because I don't like to put the originals in my junk journal as a rule. Sometimes I do, but for these older photographs, I like to just keep them in a secure place. And it's nice to be able to have something that looks fairly close. It's not brown like that is, but it would pass, I guess. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this or got something helpful from it, give me a thumbs up, please. I appreciate that so much. I hope to see you next time. Bye.